Hi everyone, it's me, Miss Branch, back with lesson number 3. And we had just listened to the book Elmer the Elephant. And Elmer the Elephant was a very colorful elephant. So we can either make him, or we can make it like this. Or we can do any of the other elephants when they dressed up at the end of the book. Or we can do Elmer the Elephant when he disguised himself as a regular elephant. But I'm going to show you how to turn marker into paint. And we have to do it carefully because I did one where I did the black line first and then added the squares, and the colors kind of got a little muddy. So we're going to have to do it one at a time, and I'll have to show you all those steps. So let me switch my camera so that we can get started. Wrong bed. There we go, replace pen. All right, so we don't want our Elmer the Elephant to get muddy like this one. So I'm going to put that one off to the side. And we're going to start by drawing our Elmer the Elephant, and I'll show you how to do him, paint it and turn him into the gray elephant when he was in disguise. And then I'll show you how to do this one. Now, this one we have to draw the black lines when it's dry, but I will show you in just a moment. All right, so let me move these out of the way. There. And we're going to draw an elephant. Now, an elephant might look like it's hard to draw, but it's real easy because this right here, the ear is like a backwards C, and the head and trunk makes an S, and then the other side of the trunk makes a letter J, then it makes like a little V, and then some rectangles, and a big oval, and a triangle. So it's real easy to draw. So let's go ahead and get started. And put it in the screen just a little bit so you can see it. All right, so the first things first, I'm gonna get my marker. I'm gonna get the black one, and what I'm going to do is somewhere in the middle of but off to the side, the left side, but not all the way at the edge. I'm gonna make a big backwards letter C. And so next, to make the head, I'm going to make an S. But instead of coming all the way down, like you know how S curves in, I'm just going to make it a shallow curve. So it looks like that. So now I have the start of my elephant's head. Now to make the other side of his trunk, I'm going to make a letter J that's going to follow the bottom of that S. Now for the mouth, or the end of the nose, I'm just going to connect it with like a little V. And then I'm going to give it a little line and give it a smile. And then, of course, I'm going to give an eyebrow and an eye. So now I get to make the body. And it's going to be just a big oval. It's going to not be a whole oval because the ear is going to cover up part of it. So I'm going to start at the ear, come around, come back, and come back to the ear. Oh, there's something on my table. Piece of glue from another project. Made my paper a little lumpy. But it's okay. I can fix that. I can just turn that into one of the little rectangles I'm going to use for the legs. Let me move my paper up a little bit to make sure it's on the screen. And then another rectangle. And another rectangle. And 4 rectangles. I didn't even have to draw this whole rectangle because it bumped into this rectangle. Oh, and of course, a little triangle down for the tail and some lines for the hair at the end of the elephant's tail. So that was a quick and easy way to make an elephant. There are many ways to make an elephant, but you can pick which one is easiest for you. So now what I'm going to do is turn him gray. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to wet it in the water basin, but I'm going to squeeze out some of that extra water. You definitely don't want too much water. And all I'm going to do is gently touch where the marker is, and it begins to act like paint. And I can just spread it, follow that line, and paint anywhere where the paper is white, inside where I want to make my elephant. And then I still got enough water on here, so I'm just going to wet the legs. I might have to dip back in to get some more water when I do this big body part. But right now, I got just enough water on my bristles that I don't have to get more water. Now it's starting to get a little dry. So I'm going to go ahead and dip it in the water again and then wipe off all the extra. Don't want too much extra water. And we'll wet the where the marker line is again and bring it down. Here we go. I missed the little spots over here, so I'm gonna get those spots. And there I have Elmer in disguise. But we don't want to just stop there. I'll put my brush down. I'm going to get another piece of paper. I'm going to switch to my other Elmer. And this time we're going to have to draw him with a pencil. Because like I said, when I did him with the black marker, and then I did the colors, it kind of got the colors a little dark and muddy a little bit. So I didn't like that too much. So I'm going to do him in pencil, paint the turn the ink into squares, and then we can then go back over with the black once it dries to make the lines for his body. All right, so again, now I'm bringing this camera in just a little closer so you can see the lines since I'm using a pencil. And I got a little paint on my paper. That's okay. All right, so a big letter C, a backward C, then an S, but a shallow S, not come all the way around S. And then right beside it, a letter J, then the V, and then the smile, and the eye, and the eyebrow. And then the big oval for the body. Start at the ear, back around to the ear, then the legs. And you don't have to make it Elmer because some of those other elephants were interesting to draw because they had short ones, tall ones, big ones, skinny ones. They were very interesting elephants. And then my triangle for my tail. There we go. And so now I get to use all the colors, my markers, and I'm gonna just draw squares. So let's see. Put a blue square. I'll put a blue square there, and a blue square here. Everywhere, everywhere. Um, it's a square, kind of like old McDonald song I was starting to sing. Here a square, there a square, everywhere square, square. There we go. So I got my blue squares. I'm gonna put another one on here. Okay. And now let me make some yellow squares. And now some orange squares. And then some green squares. I can't forget to put some squares on the tail. And then some of these markers are still tough to open because they're fairly new. Some of these gotta be rectangles because they'll look like they're going around the body, or kind of like half triangles. So they're going around the elephant's body. And some red squares. Now I have my Elmer full of squares. and rectangles. And so now what I get to do is wet my paintbrush. And I get to, I think I'll start with the yellow ones because they're the lightest color. And I'm just going to wet them. Oh, see, I had a little too much water, so the orange is coming in. I'll bring that in so you can see that. And make sure it's in the screen. So, like, if I touch another color, then that's another way your colors are getting muddy. So you will kind of want to stick with one color. I'm going to squeeze out some of that extra water with my fingers. And I'm going to go ahead and finish all my yellow ones. Pick up some of that yellow water. And then do all my yellow ones. And then get a little bit more water, rinse that out. All right, since orange was happen next, I'll go ahead and do the orange. Oop, that's red. All right, so I did all my orange. I'll bring the camera up a little bit more. And let's see. Well, I'll go ahead and do red because red and yellow do mix a bit. So it's gonna be more red because red is darker than the orange. Oh, need a little more water. And some blue. And some green. And let's see, now I can do my purples. Again, just a little bit of water on the ink from the markers gets it to act like paint. Now I gotta let this dry a little bit. I think I can do a little bit. I can show you a little bit before the video ends. I'm gonna blow it a little bit more. I'm gonna do the parts that there's not a lot of water on. So after you finish, then you can trace once it dries a little bit with your Sharpie. Not Sharpie, marker. There are projects I do with other grades with Sharpies. I think we might have did one before where we had a Sharpie. Can't quite remember. Or it might have been the first graders. And so, oh, I can do the eye. I don't know about doing that eyebrow because it's in that, there's still some water right there. But okay. So, everyone, let me switch my camera. So you can do Elmer the Elephant with lots of colors, turning marker into ink, or you could do Elmer the Elephant when he's in disguise because he didn't like his color and then he didn't realize that his color is what kept everybody happy. So you can do one or you can do both and have lots of fun. And you can do other projects with the elephants. You could add more elephants. You could do some of the other ones that were dressed up like clowns and all kinds of stuff that were in the story. So I will see you in the next lesson. Bye. Love it.